Is your vacuum cleaner broken, not working quite right? You spent $600 on it and it's only 2 years old? Well, I got a solution for you today, and I'm going to shed some light on the great big scam of the $600 vacuum cleaner and why you shouldn't waste your money on it anymore. And you're going to really see the marketing genius behind the hustlers that are taking all your money for a $600 vacuum that only lasts 2 or 3 years. Stand by. So I'm going to try some backwards engineering here.
It works.
Alright folks, welcome to my channel. Today I have a vacuum cleaner. It is a thrift store find. I don't know if I'm going to put it in the thrift store rescue series. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. But today I have the humble Boerne XL. Now this vacuum cleaner is not broken. Okay? Nothing wrong with it. It just needs its normal maintenance. It needs to get this outer bag cleaned. It needs the inner bag replaced. It needs a light bulb, and it needs a belt. And it just needs a general cleaning. And while I go through the process of that whole situation of, just normal maintenance, I am going to show you why this is one of the best vacuums you can buy. Best bang for your buck. It will last you years and years. And the punchline, you're going to have to wait for it. But at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you why it is the best. And it has absolutely nothing to do with what you think it is. Save your money. Watch this video. I'll show you how to take care of a vacuum cleaner that only goes for about $175, brand new, 15 bucks to the thrift store if you're lucky, and you'll never have to worry about the great marketing schemes where you must be like your neighbor and buy a $600 vacuum because it's the nice new shiny object that's colorful and has playful marketing strategies with no bags. And sometimes they say no filters. I'll tell you a secret, they still have filters. They just hide them. Yeah, they do. I used to own them. Anyway, there's multiple brands that market all these different things. And aside from the M1A1 Kirby Abrams tank of a vacuum cleaner made in the 1970s, this is probably the best vacuum you can get today, and probably weighs about 90 pounds less than the good old tank Kirby's, but you can still find those today if you want. But let's get started on this vacuum. I'm going to take it down to places on the bench here where you can see what I'm doing and go through the process. It won't take long, but I'll tell you step by step why I believe this vacuum is one of the best you can spend your money on. Don't waste your hard-earned dollars in places you don't need to. That's right. Let's get started. Okay, folks, first thing we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about vacuum cleaner bags. There's a lot of things people hate about these darn things. I got a double stack of them here. They try to fill them all the way up, and they claim that things are leaking and dust is coming through. Well, let me show you something. This is just one step. All right, this is your primary filter for the air that your vacuum sucks up off the floor when it's sucking up all the Cheerios and M&Ms and bubble gum and hair. So it's got a seal right here. Okay, this is not made to hang on your vacuum cleaner for a year and a half while you try to fill this bag up. Let me tell you a secret. The air that gets sucked up by the vacuum gets blown into this bag and it exits out through this bag, which is a filter. It's kind of like an N95 mask that you wear to protect yourself from like paint dust or whatever. Okay, but if this bag is all the way full, the only place that it can actually push the air out is up here in the top, and that's not enough, right? So they don't even hardly teach us anymore, and it's not even on the bag, but you should literally fill it 1/3 of the way and then discard it and put a new bag in there. That way it's got this much. All right, to push air out through the bag and not try to slip it around the rubber seal here. Okay? Plus all the allergens in here are not growing mold or any nasty stuff while you try to fill the bag up. Just go ahead, hit a third. You know what? Every couple months, just throw it away and you're gonna be a lot safer. Okay, let's go take a look. All right, so this outer bag, this is the secondary filter, if you will. And this one's really dirty. So I'm gonna have to wash it. There's lots of cat hair in here and stuff. Okay, so up here you pull this back on this bag and you see where it seals on here. See all this dust that's blown out around here? Because somebody's been trying to fill this bag up to the very top, and you don't need to do that. Get rid of this nasty stuff. I'll put that in the trash later. Okay, so think about it, right? This little rubber seal here, up here, okay? Now, this is the first part that's better than a bagless vacuum cleaner. You can just grab all the garbage that you vacuumed up over the last month and throw it all away in a disposable bag that goes to the landfill and it decomposes and it goes away. On these ones that are bagless, if you happen to suck up just the smallest amount of moisture and it goes into that drum that is the collection port, basically, the big red Solo cup of dirt, it'll cake up the inside to the point where you're in there with a screwdriver trying to scrape it out, and then you have to put the thing in your dishwasher. Yes, all the stuff you vacuumed off your floor went in your dishwasher. Okay, anyway, this is the first point I'm making, is that it's just, yeah, it's old-fashioned, but you know what? It works great, and it gets all those allergens out of your house, all the fleas, all the lice it picked up, skin cells. Yeah, they're gone. Okay, and then every once in a while, take this outer bag off and wash it. Today, I am going to simply take it completely off the vacuum cleaner. Where's my screwdriver? There's a clip up here. I've got two hands, so let's see if I can do this. Clip comes up. All right. Save this. This is not disposable. And then this just comes right off. It's got a little bit of a plastic clip on. You got to work it up and over a little bit, but it will come off. And it's made to be taken off so you can clean it. Ooh, look at all the junk down there. And then down here, just this metal clip down here on the end of the handle. So I'm going to set this off to the side. Later on, when I feel like getting really hot and sweaty in here, I'll go outside and blow it out. Okay, so let me get this bag out of the way. Let's get down to the simplicity part of it. You guys need to come back up here. This thing has headlights on it. A lot of vacuums do, but they're not this easy to change the light bulb on, I can tell you that right now. I've already checked, one of these is burnt out, so I got a replacement. And it appears the heat shield has become detached. That won't be hard to fix. Okay, so light bulbs, they just pop right out. Real easy. They're only a couple bucks. No, actually, no, they're not. I think they're $6 each nowadays. I just bought one on Amazon, of course. Anyway, this part here I'm gonna be upgrading a little bit on. So I'm gonna put this back together so you guys, now you know what we're dealing with there. I'm not gonna do the light bulb until last. But I'm gonna screw that together. This takes a simple Phillips screwdriver, guys. That's it. All right, so let's take a look at right here. The handle doubles as the tube that blows the dirt into the vac. Okay. Simplicity, folks. Okay, now the other thing is that this thing is very light. I didn't weigh it because the bag had a bunch of dirt in there, but we'll weigh it when we're done. But I'm guessing 10 pounds, 12 pounds right now. That's it. And if you take a look at the handle, and I've actually done this for somebody. They were a shorter person. They were actually well below 5 feet tall, and they had this vacuum and it was just too tall. So this metal part right here, I actually removed it. Now I had to remove the cord. Is that where the, no. Yeah, the cord off of there. And I just cut it in half and I put it back down on here and it worked. And it helped him out. Choking on the dust from that thing. All right, so let's get down to the business end of this here vacuum cleaner. Okay. Here's the bottom. It is extremely simple. It's got 2 wheels and you have 1 height adjustment. Basically, it's got these little floater pads up here and it'll just float across whatever surface you're vacuuming, whether it's a hard surface or a carpet or whatever. The vacuum is so light, it doesn't have to have an adjustment system. It'll just float across whatever. The beater bar will pick up whatever's down there. Okay? I was missing a screw. I'll replace that. Okay. Should be 5 screws, if I remember right. Okay, before I take this bottom part off, here is the wheels. If you need to replace them, they pop out just like this. Anybody can do it. These are available online. They're cheap. And then put them back in. They're back in. It's got an extra belt storage right here. That's handy. That is a wearable item, okay? Just because the belt always burns up doesn't mean that you have a garbage vacuum cleaner, okay? That's just part of the deal. But there's also reasons why they'll burn up faster, and I'll show you that in a second. Okay, so this needs to get blown down, cleaned up, wiped down, all that good stuff. All right, so here is the beater bar, and there is a lot of hair on here. Looks like some thread too. Mostly pet hair, fortunately. When you get the big long strands of human hair in there, it's pretty much a pain in the butt, and you just gotta cut along here and then pull it off. Alright, so I am out of gloves, but well, we're just gonna grab it like this. Get all this pet hair out of here. Okay. Very simple for this beater bar. It just pulls out. And there's your belt. That is all burnt up and chewed up. Why is it all burnt up and chewed up? Okay. Maybe because of these pennies that are in here? I don't know. Maybe. But a lot of it is because this thing gets a buildup of hair, and it's not here where it gets built up that causes the problem. It's inside the bearing. Right here. It doesn't want to spin. These ones seem to spin okay. They are going to get oiled before I put them back on. But it's right there where a lot of the hair gets built up, and it'll stop this thing from spinning efficiently. Okay? And this one, it looks like just too much garbage all over this one. It could be anyway though. Okay, so digging in deeper. Get more of this hair out of here. We're gonna take a look at another reason why these vacuums are the best. They are so stupid simple. You got power coming in down here. You got power. I need a wire nut right there. It looks like the belt burnt it up. So that needs to get redone and put over here. You have power coming in, okay guys? I'm gonna get distracted by stuff I see in here, like this bare wire and the neutral wire. That's all burnt up by the belt. But you got power coming in, you got power going to the lights. That's it. There's nothing else. There's no bells and whistles. There's no Bluetooth hookups. You can't attach your phone to this thing. It doesn't hook up to your Wi-Fi at all. You don't need any of that garbage, and all it does is cause a drain on your wallet. This is just plain simple, and it's so smart. Okay, you got one motor in here that runs the suction fan, right? And it sucks everything in here. And then the other end of the motor right here turns your belt. That turns your beater bar. And if you take a look, it is a straight shot from the beater bar right here into the blower fan or suction fan, right up the pipe and through that slot into the bag. There's no twists and turns. There's no extra nonsense trying to go through a ball wheel or any of this other nonsense. It is just straight simple. Floor, beater bar, suction fan, bag. Done. All right? There's nothing that can hardly go wrong with these things unless you don't maintain it. And this one, it definitely needs a little bit of normal maintenance. And the normal maintenance is cleaning the beater bar, putting a drop of oil in the bearings, you know, and if you want, you can pull the fan out of here and check inside and make sure that's cleared up. And you do that by pulling just 2 screws out, right here and right here, and this whole motor and everything lifts right out, just like that. And then you can check, make sure it's all clean. I'm probably just gonna blow this one out, but looks like I gotta do a couple of wiring repairs down here to make sure that's all safe and make sure these wires are tucked in the right spot. These wires are not supposed to be going right through here. They're supposed to be underneath the motor. See where the white wire down there is? That neutral wire, it comes across. It's not supposed to be coming up right here. It's supposed to be coming up down over here. I've had a few of these apart, guys. So I'm gonna fix that. I'm probably actually gonna pull all this out, and then I'm gonna blast everything out with the air compressor, wipe it down, clean it up, and all that stuff. So we're gonna go into time-lapse mode for that for real quick, and then we'll talk about some of the pros and cons, and the #1 reason why I know for a fact that this is the best vacuum cleaner that money can buy. Time-lapse mode, cue now. Okay, now you guys know how to very thoroughly clean a beater bar with an air compressor. You're welcome. Okay, as I pointed out before, there's some wiring issues here. There's some bare wire here, 2 wires, the red, the white, and then the black one over here, plus the wire nut's worn half away. And that's because somebody's messed with this before, okay? They took it apart, they didn't put it back together right, and they routed the wires up through here and then across underneath the belt or over the top of the belt. Well, we're gonna put it back together right, but first we need to put some heat shrink on these wires. Copper's still good, just the insulation has been toasted a little bit. So while I'm doing this, we'll talk about another reason why I think these vacuum cleaners are the best. It's the availability and the affordability of parts, okay, and the ease of replacing them. All right, motor, anywhere from $36 to $109 for a replacement motor, which is a very rare occurrence you'd ever have to replace a motor. They just don't burn up. This one has a aluminum impeller on it. You can get new plastic ones for 15 bucks. I couldn't find the aluminum ones. Well, I didn't look that hard, but aluminum or plastic, it's up to you if you want to replace it, but this one's fine. But if you had to replace it, it's very affordable. Motors also affordable, okay? Beater bars are 18 bucks if you want to replace the entire thing. Comes with a whole assembly. Everything you see right here, end caps, etc. What was it? The light bulbs were like $6.49 each. If you need to replace the switch on the handle, don't get them from Amazon. They're overcharging by like $20 when you can actually just go to like Lowe's or Home Depot. No, not Home Depot. No. If you can find one at Home Depot, consider yourself lucky. Buy a lottery ticket. Menards, Lowe's, Ace Hardware. That's where you can find those for an affordable price, and we're talking like $5. So we're gonna go ahead and fix this wiring insulation here with some heat shrink. Don't need no sparky going on in here with shorted out wires. I'm using marine grade heat shrink here. It's got hot melt glue on the inside, so it's going to glue itself to the wire and it'll never slip. Okay. Now, of course, I have the vacuum unplugged. This wire's okay. Well, no, it's got a little bit of wear there. I better put some on there too. Let's get another piece out. It hasn't been worn through, but it's been worn in a little bit by rubbing on that belt, so we'll give it some extra protection here. Right about there. Now this one here, I don't need to, I'll just strip this one back a little bit because the wear was right there on the end. Okay. then the last one is this red one. There. All right, good as new. Before you reuse a wire nut, check inside and make sure there's no broken wires, and if there are, go grab a new one. It's just a lot easier. And for this one that's all half gone, I got a new one. Okay, those repairs are done. Let's go ahead and reassemble this thing. And this time, make sure the wires are routed under the bottom side of the motor, not around the back side. Don't need them near any moving parts. Okay. Make sure they're tucked down in here too. Okay. Now there was three. Let's see, this one, these three screws here. And then this part right here. Check the felt. Make sure it's in good condition before you put it back in here. You gotta twist things around a bunch. Just to get it in there. How did I do that? Oh yeah. There we go. Alright, she's back in there. Before you go any further, make sure your wires aren't pinched. And I have one pinched, so I need to... Where's that tool? I need to put it where it's supposed to be. Okay. These two screws go... These are your motor mount screws. Hope you all paying attention, because, well, you can always come back and watch the video again, but I hope this helps you guys choose your next vacuum, because I don't know how old this vacuum is, but I bet you I can get 20 years out of it, if not more. Yeah, I'm not selling this project. I'm keeping this one. All right. Now, got two new belts. These were $7 for 2 of them. Okay. And to put these on, get yourself set up with your beater bar here and get it just started going in on that side, but not yet on the other side. Take a look. You got to get it around the shaft of the motor, and it's got to go around the beater bar. And you start, you can use this to help you rotate it over. Don't forget to get the other end in there. Then it'll self-center. Okay, new belt is on. Now get the bottom part in. And by the way, these little brushes here, they're replaceable too. One screw holds them in. You can buy them. I didn't check the price on them. Oh, I need the bumper. Every bumper car needs a bumper. Put this back on. And it kind of just snaps into place. Also works as a gasket between this bottom plate and the top shell. And your motor gets sandwiched right in here. Alright, so I am missing one screw, so I'm going to have to go find one, but I'm not going to look for it right now. I'll just skip the middle one for right now, and I'll just come back later. Okay, one more thing, it's got spare belt storage here. So you take your extra belt, you pop it in there, and you got a spare belt the next time you burn one up. It'll happen once in a while. Let's plug it in and see what she's doing. Got plenty of suction, plenty of it. Okay, let's go take a look at the light situation. I suppose I should double check to make sure I have the right one chosen as being the one that's burnt out. Let's see. Yep, that's the burnt out one. Unplug it. Got the new bulb here. I'm going to do a bit of an upgrade. behind the light bulbs here. Not something you have to do, but I'm doing it. Let's knock these screws out so I don't lose them. So this little heat shield, here's, I guess you could call it a reflector, a light reflector. I don't really see it as being a light reflector. You guys missed out on what I was showing you here because I didn't move the camera. Okay, so these little light reflectors are also a little bit like a retainer for the lens. And I could get this attached back in here with probably some epoxy or something. But the upgrade I want to do, which I'm not going to do today, but I'm going to show you what I'm going to do, is I have this roll of really shiny aluminum tape. My idea was to line the back of it here. There's more cat here. My idea was to line the whole back of here and also up in here with this aluminum tape. And I'm going to do it. I'm just not going to do it this video, and it'll help keep the heat from affecting the light bulbs, from affecting the plastic, but also reflect more light out the lens. So that's something I'm going to do, but at a later date. Today we're just talking about how awesome these things are compared to a $600 vacuum. Okay, I am going to take that out for right now so it doesn't rattle around. Let's put this back on. Alright, so the vacuum bag, the outer bag, that thing's pretty nasty, and I am going to take it and wash it, and it needs to get turned inside out, blown out really good with the air compressor, and then I just need to hang it up on my fence and take the garden hose after it, or even just take it to the car wash. As a matter of fact, I just might take it to the car wash. I'm not going to do that today. Right now I'm just going to show you how great this awesome vacuum is and put it all back together, give it a real quick test run, and then I'll tell you the real reason why I know for a fact that this is the #1 vacuum in the entire world, and just people just don't know it because they're drawn in to that vacuum aisle at the big box store, and it has all the shiny, brightly colored vacuums, and they're like $5.99 with a $50 rebate or whatever, and you make you think you're getting your money's worth because your credit card company is going to give you cash back too. That's a scam. Okay, so where did I put that darn thing? Let's get this thing on the floor. You guys need to come over here. Put our attention on this vacuum cleaner. I got my brand new bag. And I need my clip. There's the clip, don't want to lose that. So down here, you hook it on this spring thing down here. And you pop this hole onto the outlet and get it popped over the little clips, the little tabs actually. There's 3 of them, 1 on the top, 2 on the sides. Okay. Here's your brand new vacuum bag. Remember, this is your first line of defense against dust in your house. All right, it's like an N95 mask. Go ahead and slide it in there. Then this just firmly seats. It's easier to start at the bottom and get it worked on there. And then just pressed around there. Make sure it's in there. Then zip it up. And now this outer bag is still a little bit dusty. Oh. You guys did not remind me. Clip. Gotta have the clip. That keeps this bag from falling off. Yep, that's kind of important. Plug it in. Very simple to operate. You have one switch right here. Okay, watch this bag. Okay, watch that bag. All right, you see how that bag inflated? That bag inflated because it's got a nice clean bag in there, the primary filtration bag. If your whole outer bag doesn't inflate like that, you need to change out that inner bag because you've sucked up something super fine like sheetrock dust or something like that, and it's clogged the whole thing up. Or the bag is just too full, and you're working your vacuum motor a little bit too hard, and it just can't push enough air up out there, which means it can't suck stuff off the floor. That's what I was saying earlier on in the video. If your bag gets to about 1/3 full, just change it out. Just throw a new one in there. They don't have to be filled all the way to the top. You're not saving yourself any money, and you're wearing out your equipment. That's pretty much all I have on this thing, except why do I think, or why do I know for a fact that this is the #1 vacuum cleaner compared to the $600 versions that are fancy and have Wi-Fi connections and yeah, all that nonsense. Over the last 30 years, I have stayed in a lot of hotels across the United States and around the world. 99% of the time, guess what the housekeepers are using? They're using the OREC XL. All right, if these other big brand ones that are $500–600 were the best, you would see them in all the hotels, but you don't, because these ones are affordable, they're robust, they're bulletproof, they're easy to maintain, and you don't have to worry about a whole much. And to top it off, if you go to Amazon right now and you look at, see how many have been sold in the last 6 months, I mean last 30 days, last month, 6,000 plus. I don't think the big guys who sell the ones that have all the special gadgets that make your eyes go ooh ah are selling that many. But that's my take on it. I think it's the best vacuum in the world. I've worked on quite a few of them, done a lot of maintenance on them. They're really easy. They don't really hardly ever break unless somebody deliberately tries to break it. So that's it. It really comes down to it. A little no-name, vacuum that people don't really know about is quite likely the best vacuum you can buy, aside from the M1A1 Kirby Abrams tank from the 1970s, which are so heavy that I don't feel like ever pushing one of those things around ever again. I didn't get the scale out, but my guess is 12 to 15 pounds with an empty bag on it. So anyway, thanks for watching. You're going to see a lot more long-form content like this coming up here soon, over the next few months, and it's going to be about once a week on Fridays usually. But the best way to support this channel, hit the share button, like, and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Laters.